So there's a lot of things in this world that I'm against, bro. I'm against how we grew up. You're against poverty. So you became successful. You know what I mean? But the suffering goes hand in hand with success. Like you can't say, oh, I want success, but I don't want to suffer.
You might have to take notes on this bitch. Welcome back to Famous and Wealthy Podcast, man. Today we got my boy Shane Portrait Tattoos in the building, man. What's going on, my boy?
Chilling, bro. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing good, man. I met my boy in the gym. He go hard with the working out. I seen him with a book. I'm like, man, what's that book, bro? You know, he started breaking it down, so I had to get him on an interview, man. It was lit. So tell us a little bit about like your life story, bro.
Well, I mean, it just depends how far you want me to go.
Man, prison, everything. We just want to know the whole.
Okay. So I grew up in a place where we come from nothing, and that ideally, even the geography, Arizona. It's like Arizona. That's where I'm originally from.
Oh, okay.
So it's nothing out there, bro.
Right.
All those in Arizona that are making it, they're good for you. But my experience, it wasn't like that. Like my experience is like real lack of opportunities, a desolate place. I experienced all that part of Arizona.
Arizona got a big city though, right?
Phoenix, and all the surrounding cities. All the surrounding cities make it big. They make it Phoenix, and that's what makes it big. I mean, it is good, but as far as like the only thing I can do is like give my personal experience.
Exactly. Right.
So I grew up in like a place that's close to the border.
Okay.
And those border towns, there's not really a lot going on, but you know,
city.
drugs and crime and stuff like that. And then, given my background and it's like where my family come from, we didn't grow up in a good neighborhood and stuff like that. So all those play a factor in where I'm originally from, like where it all started.
Right.
Yeah.
So how you make it like, you know, out of that though? Like what made you want to move out of, you know, the small city to actually meet people, like to get it to another level, you know?
To get to where I'm at right now, it wasn't like one big decision.
Right.
It was like small steps that kind of like my journey was kind of like it was kind of like destiny almost. Like little steps got me here, doors open, and I kind of took them. That's kind of how it happened. It wasn't like realistically, it wasn't like you know how like that feeling like you know you're gonna do something great, you just don't know how.
Right.
I was that kid. I was that kid. Like I looked around at my situation, I'm like, man, this ain't adding up. Like something ain't right. Something's not clicking. Right. And I just knew I was like, man, I'm meant to be great. And I didn't know how, but I guess, you know, that belief system, enough, like I think doors start opening. You know what I mean?
Right. So how did you get around to even get a door open though? Like,
man, honestly, bro, that's just a lot of doors didn't open for me.
Yeah.
Like straight up. Like, so in the beginning, like so I grew up in 29th Street in Arizona in Tucson. That's where I'm from.
Oh,
so I grew up in a gang neighborhood. And I had this one time there was a preacher that came up to me. He was a well-respected dude. His name was Tito. He came up to me, he told me he said he prophesied over me. And he goes, you may not know this, but he goes, I got something to tell you. And he goes, you're young, you ain't gonna understand this, but he goes, you're gonna reach a lot of people. He's like, you're gonna lead a lot of people, but you have to suffer a lot. That's what he told me. He's like, and I'm like 9, bro. I'm like 9 years old. So he told me this, and I didn't like register. He's like, you don't understand yet. He's like, but it's something God showed me about you. And then that's always been the prophecy throughout my life. So I would have people stop me and say, hey, like, I know who you are. Or to give you another example, like fast forward to where I'm like, now I'm 18, 19 going into jail.
Yeah.
And some guy put his hand over me and he goes, I know who you are. He goes, I seen your tats on your face. I know exactly. I know everything. He's like, God showed me stuff about you. He's like, I knew I was going to meet you. I was going to meet you before I even met you. Wow. And he goes, you have to suffer. You have to keep going. But he's like, you're going to lead many people. That was always a message. Damn. Always a message. So all those people, and I'm like, it just wouldn't click. I'm like, damn, what? Because eventually my eyes open. I'm like, damn, why am I always like going through some fucked up situations? Yeah. But I guess it was just all part of the plan. You know what I mean?
Did it make you want to pray more though? Like when you
honestly, bro, I hated God.
Yeah.
In the beginning, I hated him just because like I couldn't understand my suffering.
Yeah.
I was like, why I gotta grow up like this? Why I gotta grow up with lack? Why I gotta grow up, fucked up homes, and why I gotta grow up like in this? Because like honestly, bro, like I'm not a vicious person.
Yeah.
Like I'm just like the way I view myself is I'm just a regular little boy still that just wants to do good in life. But my circumstances forced me to do things and be a certain way that I had like I couldn't help it. It was all just like it was like fast. It was instinct. It was impulsive, and I just acted on it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think it just kind of like my situations created this. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like neglect and lack, that's where you get desperate. You know what I'm saying? And when you grow up like around a lot of violence, like in order
Yeah.
to survive, you kind of have to act a certain way.
Yeah, you do.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I didn't want to be vicious, but it's just, I mean, it's
Yeah.
just you do things to survive, you know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
exactly. You gotta
And
be
you
a
don't think of the consequences. You just
yeah.
like by that time it's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. What made you get into like tattoos and stuff like that? Like your
Um
first what was the first time you got a tattoo basically?
the shit, I was probably like 14, 15.
Yeah.
Yeah. 14,
Damn.
15 years old. Yeah. Yeah.
Damn. That's young. So like you just started like, man, I'm gonna get a whole lot of tattoos and shit, like type shit. Like early on, like 14, 15. Cause oh yeah, you're right. I was about 15 when I first got my
Mhm.
first tattoo as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
Like as far as the book though, like what would be your message about the book to make it like? And when I first met you about it, like you was like it was a story. Like what's your story in this book?
So it's kind of like it's like it's based on my life, like my childhood. Like
Yeah,
so when I got the idea to do this book, it was like one day I was I was riding in on my Harley and I was in Texas and I was kind of like saying a prayer. And usually I like to ride a lot because that's where I have like I'm isolated. Like I have
right.
nobody, no distractions, no phone, no nothing. And I prayed and I said a prayer and it's weird because out of nowhere it just kind of hit me. It was like it's children, like I heard a children's book.
Right.
And I didn't understand it at the time because I'm like, like I didn't even process it, bro. Like honestly, I didn't even think to write a children's book. Like it was
Right.
not even a part of my plan or nothing.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of left it alone. And then years later, fast forward, then I ended up becoming friends with Star. She's does the Weather Channel in New York,
Yeah.
and she ended up doing a children's book. So she kind of like directed me and kind of helped me
All
to
right.
get to that process. And I didn't even know where to start, but we kind of we ended up kind of having we clicked on the idea of like purpose and God and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And because she's originally from LA, so she's like real connected to the youth and stuff like that. And then that's kind of how it happened. And then I just kind of like put it together. We did it, we made it happen. And oh, so when I was writing it, I went to like a lounge on top and I bro, honestly, I didn't even know where to start. Like I was gonna do characters. Like I was
Right.
gonna try to reach because like all my experiences started when I was when I was young, when I was like really young. Like I was
Yeah.
13 when I first got charged as an
Yeah.
adult.
Yeah.
So I was gonna try to like do like characters, but then I heard something kind of say like just keep it authentic as possible.
Right.
Like
Makes
be as
sense.
like tell it just like it is. Like don't take nothing from it and don't add nothing to it. Like
Right.
just be yourself. So I told my story kind of like, and it's like real light. It's not like all the details. It's just real kind of like a few stories. And then so I wrote it like that. And then when I worked with the illustrator, she kind of helped me like put the images together. So it's just kind of like, I mean, I just
Right.
kind of
Right.
gave it to them. Like just the way it was given to me is kind of the same way I'm gonna give it back.
Exactly.
So I'm gonna kind of like,
You got any big plans for 2025 as far as like mentorships? I see you work out a lot, you know what I mean? Like
mhm.
you thinking about doing any big time training programs and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. I'm into that. I'm real big into like mentoring and coaching, and just because like mindset is real important,
Yeah.
development, and that's where it started. So
Yeah,
it's very important, like just who we are as men, the
for
mental
sure.
development. Yeah.
How do you deal with like, coming from a small town or whatever, you in Miami, you see everybody getting successful and like even with myself though, like I come from Chicago. I came out here and I was just like, damn, like everybody doing so good. It's a lot of competition, but it's good competition. Everybody look at it a little different. Like
Mhm.
actually coming to Miami actually helped me get successful by being like in the right places, just like you in like
Yeah.
in the gym and stuff like that.
Mhm.
Like how do you deal with so many like distractions? Like how do you get through it? Like,
It,
because
the,
it's a lot of distractions out here.
like the distractions out here in Miami,
Yeah. Like I
like
know you was in a small city, but it was like more distractions here by it being so much going on. Like some
oh,
people can't take it, some people can.
honestly, the way I kind of see it is like, I mean, people flock from all around the world to be here.
Yeah.
So it's like I think it's like anything in life.
Yeah.
Like you can use it to your advantage.
Exactly.
You know what I
Yeah. That's
mean?
basically what I was getting around. Like some people that come here and I'm like, man, this is too
Eat
much.
them up,
Like
yeah.
it's
Because I've heard that. I've heard people talk and say, "I don't like it there," but I'm like, I have the opposite. I'm like, I
yeah, I
like it
love
here.
it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel. I'm like, or I can be back home where it's like super gang banged out, or like, it's a lot going on. So that's how I kind of be looking at like, damn, but That's what I wanted to know, like how you take it, like, you know?
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, even the prison system.
Yeah, for
Like it
sure.
broke a lot of people,
Yeah.
but a lot of us it made us
Yeah,
too. So it's
it
kind of
helped me
like
too though.
usually
Yeah.
what like breaks people is what makes people. So it just
Yeah.
depends on, I guess, the to the core, like what type of person you are and how you view the world, and
Right.
that it goes back to
Do you
like your
believe that
mentality.
some people out here may need to go to prison to actually be successful? Like do you think that some people need a sit down, a
Oh
reality
yeah,
check?
yeah, yeah. I used to say that. I used to say that. I'm like, man, ain't
Cause
nothing
I
like,
think I was moving too
yeah.
fast and like very rushy to
hmm
certain situations and stuff like that before I was just like, damn, I needed to damn, if this wouldn't have happened, then I probably wouldn't have been where I'm at now. Type of
Like I necessarily wouldn't say recommend it.
yeah,
Like you know
for
what I
sure,
mean.
yeah.
But it did have some benefits to it, and it did kind of play out
Cause
good in
like
the
you
end.
actually got to like get to know yourself more,
Yeah.
right?
Well, if it was up to me, like I wouldn't have gone through what I went through.
Yeah,
But
for
I
sure.
mean, I believe a higher power, like it was destiny almost.
Yeah,
And of course, we're gonna go through that shit fighting and kicking. But then eventually, like it's like you settle, you calm the mind, and then
yeah,
you figure your way out. So all that pressure, it's like you slowly like figure out how to move and how to maneuver and how to act and conduct yourself in ways that you like. Normally, this would break any man, but it kind of like it built me. You
yeah.
know what I
What was
mean?
some of your worst experiences in jail?
My worst experiences,
Yeah,
man, I don't know. I've just seen it all. Like,
yeah,
yeah, I've been in the system for as long as I can remember. So I was 13. So
yeah,
there was a time when, like, I looked up to all that. Like, I thought that was the flyest thing ever. You know what I mean? Just
yeah,
like all the gang members and their form and fashion and just how they carried themselves and
yeah.
moving. To me, that was like fascinating. But
Yeah.
then after a while, like I've been in it so long, I started seeing like
It's
beneath
bigger.
it, the curtains and stuff. And a
Yeah,
lot of my
yeah.
homeboys, they ended up joining, like the bigger organizations.
Mhm.
And then with me, it just there came a point in my life where like my appetite was like not there no more. You know what I
Right,
mean? Like
yeah.
my desires, and I was just kind of like, nah, this don't fit. It's not
Yeah,
fitting me. You know what I'm saying?
yeah.
It's not feeding my soul. It's not registering. It's not doing anything beneficial. It's tearing me down more than anything. But I think it was very necessary that I experienced it, because if I didn't, I wouldn't be able to speak on it and connect with, that's how I see it. I
Yeah,
felt like I had to experience it and see it in order to connect on that level with, like, people like us.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
Like me, one of the things that changed me is I went to the hole for like 9 months.
Mhm.
And like I was reading, but I had a cell phone and shit like that. So I was
Mhm.
really on my phone
Oh,
listening to YouTube
damn.
videos.
Shit.
I got in the hole and that's when I started reading hella books. I'm talking about I read every Rich Dad Poor Dad, the spiritual book. I read, you know how like when they bring you the books, you literally gonna
Yeah,
read
yeah.
the whole shit.
Yeah,
Like, you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
So
yeah.
I that was probably my best experience because I read every educational book,
Mhm.
every credit book, literally every book, like
Mm.
boards. And then on the educational books, I started taking notes and shit. You know what I mean? Like to really start knowing how to do marketing or how to do this or how to do that. So
Mm.
that's the good benefit about it. Cause I
Yeah,
probably
yeah.
would have never, I wouldn't have never read them books out
That
here.
is true.
Never.
I did read a lot, and I
Yeah.
liked it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I read a lot too, just because like, so I'm like uneducated. Like
Yeah.
that's how I grew up.
Me too.
I grew up, like
Yeah.
I wasn't the very best well spoken.
I
I
dropped out
had
of school at ninth grade.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
made it to like eighth.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
like I had trouble expressing myself, bro. Like there
Yeah.
was something really wrong with me, bro. I had to really
For
connect, and
sure. For
I
sure.
couldn't speak right. Like I had so much inside me, but I didn't know how to get it out.
Right.
And once I started to read, I started learning how to speak, because I couldn't
Yeah.
speak well. Like I just would like, I don't know. I didn't know how to say what I really wanted to say.
Yeah. The right way. Yeah.
Yeah.
For
So then
sure.
once I started reading, it kind of like I started speaking a little bit better. You know what I mean?
So what inspired you to write the book?
What inspired me to write it?
Yeah.
A lot of people told me to like that I should write a book about my life, because
Right.
anytime we'd have conversations,
Yeah.
they was like very impactful. Like for me, it was my life, but say I'm having a conversation with you, it'd be like, damn, that's kind of like rare. Like for people to experience such things in life, they're like, you should write a book. You should write a book. And I would always, I'd always hear that a lot, because like sometimes I'd be telling my story and bro, it sounds crazy. It sounds like almost made up. And I'm like, damn. But then when I say it, it's just like I think about it and I'm like, damn, I did do that shit, or I did go through that shit. Like,
Yeah.
and I don't like, to us it's normal, right? But
Right.
then in a different environment, it's kind of like unbalanced. It's like,
Yeah.
bro, it's like light and day. It's like night and day. Like it just stands out.
Yeah.
And but I honestly, like, I think the children's book is. the best, bro, just for the simple fact that that's where it started for me. I can't like no matter like I used to be ashamed of my background.
Yeah.
And then I came to a point where I embraced it.
Yeah, for
You know what
sure.
I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
we were always like, like on a society like, spectrum where it was always
Oh
at the
yeah, yeah,
bottom.
yeah,
You know what
yeah,
I'm
yeah, yeah,
saying?
yeah,
Like,
yeah. They be hating. They used to be like,
you
"Oh,
know what I
you're a
mean?
criminal. You're this or that."
Yeah,
That shit
yeah.
don't
We was
matter
a
no more. Like,
so I
yeah,
used to be like, damn, I was embarrassed because we're not the well spoken, we're not the educated, we're not,
yeah, for
we're
sure.
all that all the things you got bad to say about people, that's us.
Yeah,
And then so like it just, bro, I can't deny the fact. Like I can't like I remember like I would have conversations with certain people and like you would always hear the same recurring statements like, oh, you did that to yourself. And but it wasn't true, bro. Like we're
yeah,
born into it.
yeah, yeah, for
And
sure.
you know what I
Yep,
mean? It took me a
yep.
while to like kind of see my mistakes. And then I would also hear like things like, well, you're no longer in there and this and that. Like, you know what I mean? They were kind of like downplaying my
Yeah, yeah,
experience.
yeah, yeah.
And then I started to think about it and I'm like, man, I can't deny that shit, bro. Like that's a big part of my life. Like it'd be different like if I went in at like say 20s or 30s or something. But man, I went in at 13. Like I can't take away that fact. Like
Right.
from third like before 13, I was in the streets.
Yeah.
So after 13, I was in prison. And then from
Yeah.
19 to 30, I was in prison. So it's like
Damn.
that's a big part of my life that I can't
No.
just erase that shit.
Yeah, for
Like
sure.
that shit was impactful, bro. That shit like
Yeah.
made me, that shit changed me, like
Yeah.
changed me all the way around. And so like I think I kind of had like I'm just being honest as I can. I have to give it to him just like it was given to me. And I was a
Yeah.
kid, and the world we live in today, like it's a sad fact. But I mean, like this right here is no longer like it's no longer like absurd. Like to
Yeah.
see kids in prison, that's no longer unheard of no more.
For
Like, it's
sure.
kind of normal.
Yeah, it
So
is.
it's kind of fucked up. The society like
Yeah.
we
It
live in,
is.
like I thought this was gonna be like something that's like oh damn, like talking about prison with kids, but
Yeah.
most kids
Yeah. A
have
lot of
family members and
yeah. They be the worst when they like
something.
13, 14, 15
Yeah,
right now.
bro.
They like especially in
Yeah,
where I'm from,
yeah,
they like
yeah. And
that's
Chicago too, bro.
man,
Those are
that's they're gonna give them the guns quicker because they know that
yeah,
you're not gonna do as much time. So them the ones that got the guns faster. You know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
And then you thinking when you see a kid, you just like, well, but you never know, like So
yeah, yeah.
if like right now, right, if the 12-year-old self of you was watching this podcast, what would you say to the 12-year-old you?
I honestly, bro, like I've thought about this a lot, and like I know this like kind of like it's a loose statement. I can't really like I know it wouldn't change
Yeah,
a lot, but something that would be very impactful to me is if somebody told me they loved me.
yeah,
As like corny as it sounds, like, bro, I've never heard that shit. Like I was always mistreated, we were always abused, was always hated. Like we always had to go against some type of opposition,
yeah, for
something.
sure.
Like we're so
Yeah,
used to
hey, you know
negativity.
what's crazy? I'm the same. Nobody really
Yeah,
ever,
if you really think about it, you're like, damn,
Yeah,
nobody really told us that they like. I've never heard
yeah,
anybody tell me like, oh, you'll be great, or
yeah,
you can be this, or you can do this, or you know
yeah. It's
what,
rare.
you're a good kid, or you know what, you have a lot going for you.
Yeah,
Like everything they told us was like, you ain't shit. You're gonna die young. You're this,
yeah,
you're that.
yeah,
You're fucking fuck up. You're this. It's just like anybody never braced me. Not that I need it now. I'm
yeah,
older,
yeah,
but
yeah,
it does do something to your psyche when you're young, and then
yeah.
you grow up and you kind of influences your decisions,
Right.
and then you start acting in a way you're
Like you
like,
start building that shell around yourself.
yeah, and
Like you
then
start being like you
well,
don't trust
fuck
shit.
it,
Like you just
yeah, fuck the
yeah. They be like,
world,
why you like this and why you like it's because of the where
yeah,
you
yeah.
grew up. Wow,
S-
that's
So
crazy.
so
That's
if
deep.
I would like I'm at a point right now, like doing that healing, and it is I do have to kind of embrace myself, like the younger me, like I let them know like it's not your fault,
Yeah,
and I have to act in a way where I do love myself, like I love him, and the way I see it is like he sacrificed his life so I could be who I am today, like. Cause there is just a lot of trauma there, you know what I'm saying? Where I would always have to like conversations with myself, and I hated myself, bro. Like I hated myself for being weak. That's
yeah.
why I do the opposite now. You know what I'm
Right,
saying? I hated
right,
myself for going, like not acting in a certain way or doing certain things or being who I am. And I'm like, you know what? It's not your fault, bro. Like
right.
you were young.
You ever thought about like going to like some prisons or anything and like actually hollering at the kids that's
Yeah,
like
yeah. Oh, all
13?
the
Because
time.
you
Yeah.
never know that they might
Hmm.
see like you and you tell them the story. You probably could, what you might say could possibly change a whole life. They might be heading this way and they might go right
No, for
because they
sure.
will remember you.
Yeah, I
You
would.
know
I
what I
would
mean?
love to. I would love to connect.
Yeah,
Like I've had a few people reach out, but I know I got to get a clearance and all that. So
yeah.
I haven't fully connected that yet, but I know it's out there. I know
That's
it's on the
hard.
table. And once
Yeah.
it does come across, I'm
Then
gonna.
you bring your books in there,
Yeah,
because like
yeah.
when I was locked up, everybody they was making books and stuff.
Oh,
And I
sure.
was looking at people books like, damn, you gonna win. Like
Yeah,
it's the
yeah,
same thing. I would have looked at this book while I was in there,
yeah, yeah,
So it's like certain people that's in prison, you can still connect with them, like, hey bro,
yeah,
get my
yeah,
book in there. Or if it's a kid prison, you might, if you go speak, you
yeah,
bring like 30 books in there,
yeah,
you know what I'm
yeah.
saying? And they might see it and some will change.
There's times where I remember one time this guy came in to speak to us when we were little kids. We were probably
Yeah.
like 15, 16, and he was like one of us. He was like us in the future. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we seen him come in and his stature, his demeanor, the way he
Yeah.
carried himself, and the
Yeah.
way he talked, like he was one of us. I think he did like 16 years.
Damn.
But the way he presented himself and spoke, and like I remember that always left an impression in my brain because I was like it hit harder versus
Yeah.
like somebody else
Yeah, like
coming
if
and
you
telling us.
exactly, you
Yeah.
like, bro, you like damn near was paid to do this. It gotta look, so it gotta be somebody like somebody's watching this is gonna know, like
Yeah.
know you, like, oh yeah,
Yeah,
like you know what I mean.
I need a member to talk to me. You know
You
what I
feel me?
mean? So
Like
I,
that's
I feel them, and I'm like, wait, so you did change your life, like
type
because
shit.
most
Yeah,
people want to change their life, bro. We just don't know
yeah,
how. We just
right,
don't know
right.
how.
Because I like for even with me though, like I had to do what I had to do. Like we didn't really want to get into crime. It just all around
Yeah,
you. It's kind of just like,
we
what
thought
else
it
I'm
was the
supposed to
norm.
do?
Yeah,
I couldn't. Nobody taught me about how to do the crypto or how to do this. This was earlier on in my life, so I'm just only knowing what's around me. So I end up doing what's around me. If everybody just got paid to murder, I'll just be another person to get paid to murder. It's
yeah.
like if it's all about how you grow up. You know what I'm
Mhm,
saying? So I always tell people that they be like, oh well, they make excuses from their standpoint,
mhm.
which they never been through what you've been through. So they'll try to tell you, oh, your life could have went like it's like no, it couldn't
Yeah,
have.
I heard it
You
all,
know?
bro. And yeah, I've been put down. Even like this, the situations I went through, they would still try to tell me stuff like that, and it wouldn't register.
Yeah,
I'll be
for
like, you
sure.
weren't there. You know what I mean? You don't
Yeah.
know. Like, and then I've already gone through the point in my life where I'm like, man, I done got to a point where like I'm so detached that there's nothing nobody could tell me no more.
For
Where
sure.
I'm gonna be affected.
How important is a mentor to you? Like, do you have any mentors right now? Like, how important is it?
Man, that's honestly, bro. I've prayed for mentors. I ain't never had one. I would
Yeah,
love one. I think it's very effective
yeah.
because I think your group and your circle is very important too.
No, for
The
sure.
people you're around.
Yes,
So it's like
very
I always
important.
put myself around solid individuals. But as
Yeah,
far as like a mentor, like I never had nobody met. There's just parts of my life where certain people stand out.
yeah,
But I never had like a mentor. But there's things that stick with me that I remember that certain people told me, or I gravitated towards somebody, or I picked up on something.
yeah.
But man, I think that's just super important. I think like it is kind of our responsibility to be a
Cause yeah,
mentor.
cause I never like when I was growing up, I used to see people and I'd be like, damn, I wish that they can hold my hand and walk me through a situation or walk me through this or walk me
Mhm.
through that. But it really never really happened because I knew that it was probably too expensive, or
Uh-huh.
it was like I was like, damn, like how do I get myself around that? But then at first, you know how like I'm pretty sure when you was in your hometown, you was probably like, damn, I don't want to leave my homeboys and I don't want to
Oh
leave
no,
this. They're gonna.
I wanna leave their ass.
You said like that's
Oh,
how I was feeling at
yeah.
first, but I was just like,
Fuck them
damn.
motherfuckers.
I'm
Nah.
like it's even with girls, you know what I
Mhm.
mean? Like I got kids and stuff like that, so I was just like, no, I don't want to like just up and leave, but I do want to like see new
Yeah,
opportunity,
yeah.
right? So I was like, okay, let me leave. And then as soon as I left, bro, that's when I got rich.
Oh
As soon as
shit.
I left, literally, it was just crazy. I was like, damn. So probably God was stopping me from getting rich because he
Yeah,
didn't
the
want me to get rich
environment.
here.
Yeah, exactly.
You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
because it would have, if I would have got rich there, then it would have been probably buying guns and buying, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
that makes sense. Yeah.
so as soon as I got out of it, it's
Like
like
that
I
environment wasn't for you at the time.
exactly.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's like, oh, you moved here, boom, you lit.
I've always wanted to move, but like honestly, like the people that I was around, like I don't know, it just they didn't see my vision. They didn't see
Yeah.
it. And then plus, I didn't just up and leave. Like things happened in my town where like it was getting bad.
Yeah, for sure.
So I'm
Same.
like, yeah,
Yeah.
I kind of got to get out of here. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
had
yeah.
two options. I was either going to die out there, I was going to be in prison for the rest of my life. And I'm like, I'm not down with none of that shit no
Yeah,
more.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
there was a time where I was, but then at the time I'm in right now, like,
Yeah.
bro, things done changed,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah, we get older,
self-preservation.
yeah.
And I'm like, fuck that, I gotta get up out of here. It's just like it's not clicking. There's no doors opening. Like the way God made the situation, He kind of created like a simulation where it's like it just pushes you wherever you go. Like even how I ended up here, like all the situations just kind of push me where I was supposed to be.
Right.
And then when it's all said and done, not that saying that it's done right now,
Yeah.
but I am where I'm supposed to be at for right now.
No, for
Like this is
sure.
where I'm supposed to be.
For sure.
You
For
know what I mean?
sure.
Right here.
What's your ultimate goal for 2025?
Right now, I feel like I'm kind of like the prophecies. I feel
Yeah,
like I'm stepping into that right now. But there
yeah,
was a lot of character building, a lot
yeah,
of ups and downs, more downs than anything. I didn't really have a lot of ups, you know? And I just feel like now I'm ready. Like everything I went through, like I'm the definition of resilience, bro.
yeah,
I embody it. Like I was at my lowest. Like everything, like everything bad in the world, like self-hate, I was him. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
Down bad with no family, no nothing. I was him. So I just pressed, persevered until like a door opened. Like I'll persevere so much, like, you know, like obsessively. Like I refuse, like I will not accept nothing. Like I refuse to be that dude. Like I
yeah,
refuse to just lay here and accept my situation or accept myself.
yeah.
Like
That's how I
I'm
am.
not
Yeah,
gonna
for
do it.
sure.
Like I'll
Yeah,
die like before I accept that shit. And I
yeah,
just press, and I just feel like now was the time. Like,
yeah.
so my thing right now is just walk the purpose.
Right.
That's it. So whatever God has, like I'm walking it, I'm pushing. And you know, like I said, it's our duty like to kind of build, be responsible, you know what I'm saying? Like set a good example. And not even on no like I'm trying to be like a teacher in the world or nothing. Like
Yeah,
not even like that. It's just like you went through something traumatic in your life,
yeah,
bro. You
yeah,
went through some hard shit.
yeah, yeah,
So in a way, like your life would be a waste if you didn't do nothing to help not only
yeah,
yourself but other
yeah. Other
people.
people. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it's kind of like, what's the point of success? If it's
Right.
just like there has to
Exactly.
be a story, a message in there, and the message is like, bro, we came from this. Like it could be done. Because most of the people that we saw that were super, super successful, I'm like, man, like we tell ourselves, like, I felt like I couldn't be that. Like I didn't grow up how we went. I
Yeah.
felt like the odds were stacked against me. I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna reach that level.
Yeah.
So it's like people like you give hope and say, damn, you know
No.
what?
Yeah.
Like,
No. For
hope
sure.
that motherfucker can be shit.
Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
hope then.
Yeah.
Like, man, you giving me hope,
Bro,
bro.
I think like a lot of people come up to me like they be like, "Damn, bro, you helped me with this credit, man. You helped me with do this. You helped me do that." And I'm like, "Damn!" Like I be forgetting because if I'm talking on the internet, like how we talking on the
Mm,
podcast about anything, literally, if somebody watching, they be like, "Man, I looked into that and it worked." And I'd be like,
mm,
"Oh, that's what's up, bro." Like, so it's every little tip we give people, it helps them. You know what I mean?
yeah.
And they might not take the information from this guy like they take the information from you
Mhm.
because they understand your situation or your situation might be the same as their situation,
Yeah, yeah.
so they relate to you
Yeah, yeah.
more. So people relate to me. That's why, like, when I started doing what I started doing with the education and stuff like that, I made a lot of money because a lot of people is like, okay, well, um, he was in the same situation as me, so it
Mhm.
worked like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's like we're messengers, bro. You know what I
yeah,
mean? Like
type.
it's gonna hit with only a certain people. You know what
Yeah,
I'm saying? But that as far as like what I want to do now is like definitely I want to reach, you know, as much people as I can, reach
yeah,
the youth. And then you know, go right now I'm working with man, it's like it's somewhere in Tampa and it's called like the Sheriff's Boys Ranch or something like
yeah.
that. It's like a organization where they help like trouble youth and
Oh, that's hard.
stuff like that. And then I just started a nonprofit the other day. So
Oh, that's
like
smart.
yeah,
Yeah, that's super smart, bro.
so then you know when it all come together. But you know
Yeah,
like definitely like help. Like remember Vector 90
I think
with like
so.
Nipsey?
Yeah, yeah,
Okay,
yeah.
well, he did the Vector 90 where it was like inner city youth and they kind of
Yeah,
gave them
that's what I
jobs
think you should do
opportunity.
though, bro.
I definitely want to do something like that because you know, we got skills, we got
Yeah.
certain talents. There's always like barber. Well, I'm a tattoo artist, so I do tattoos. I mean, I know how to write a book now. So it's like, and then just things
How
that'll
did you
help
get into
people
drawing though? Like, how did you get good at drawing?
in there, bro. I didn't know how to channel my energy. I was so frustrated. I didn't know what to do, bro. I was just like a lost little kid. So I'd hate the world. I hate my situation. I'll just sit there and draw. Like I sit
Right.
there and just draw all day. You know what I'm saying? Work out and draw. That's all I did, bro. Work out, draw, read, and just repeat it. And it was repetitive
Damn.
until I started seeing breakthroughs. And then I got to a point where I was like, man, it's gonna be the key. Like this is what's gonna get me where I need to go. I was like just so bombarded with like high stress level situations.
Yeah.
Like there's this one time that I was telling this story the other day. Like I was in Central Unit in Florence. It's like a max prison. It's level 5, and they
Damn.
still got bars on the doors. And I remember one time I was drawing, bro. I was so like burnt out with prison, bro. Like I've been there my whole life, seen it all, and it's just like I wanted something different, bro. I was hungry, and I was drawing, sitting at my desk, and I could hear like a knocking on the door, like on my wall, like a thump thump thump. Like you
Yeah.
kind of feel it, like banging and shit.
Yeah.
And I just kind of ignored it and just kept going about my business. I kept hearing it, and I took off my headphones and I was like, what is that? And I turned around, my homeboy's out the bars with the mirror, and he's looking at me and he's like, hey, fool, he's like, look at your bars. I'm like, for what? And I look and some fool's getting stuck. They stabbing this fool right by my bars. And bro, I was so burnt out that I was like, man, I don't give a fuck. I put my headphones on, just went back to drawing. Like I
Damn.
didn't, I was burnt, bro. Like I was burnt. Like I did not care.
Yeah.
I didn't care about nothing, no violence, no nothing. Anything that had to go on in there, I'm just like, "Nah, whatever." I turned my head. They fighting right there. I just looked the other way. Like
Right.
I don't got an appetite for it, bro. It was like
Yeah.
it was not progressive. I'm
Yeah,
just
yeah,
like,
yeah.
man, these fools is
Damn.
burnt out. You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
crazy.
Like, you know what I
Yeah,
mean?
right, right.
So I just got to that point. But so now I just like, I don't know, man. Like if I could, like if anything stuck out with me back in the day, I would want somebody to improve my life.
For
Like
sure.
show me something, teach me something, help me elevate. Cause there
Right.
was even preachers that turned us down, bro. Like they wouldn't even pray for us. That's how
Yeah.
lost it, bro. There was a preacher one time, like my homeboy, he just lost his mom, his Rule 32, his appeal. He was doing 45 to life, and the preacher wouldn't even pray over him. And when I looked
Damn.
at this fool, like, man, it's fucked up, bro.
That was in
Like
jail though,
that
right?
was in prison. I was in
Yeah.
Florence, and he wouldn't even pray. And I said, man, fuck these preachers too. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
and I like keep your prayer. And not that I don't believe in God, I do.
Yeah.
But it's like
Yeah,
from my
I get it.
observation,
I
I'm
get it.
just like, man, keep that shit,
Yeah,
bro.
yeah.
Like nobody did nothing for us. Not saying we wanted anything,
Yeah.
but nobody really made an impact. So if I could be anything, like I want to make an impact, I want to make a
Impact, yeah.
change, bro. Like I do want to be successful. I do. I feel like it's mandatory. We need to. But
Yeah.
not only me, I want to help you be successful
No, for
because it
sure.
feels good. It changed your
I
life.
do.
Like, you know, like you need to be all you can be. You need to be something special in this world, you know, because
Right.
when you're not something special, you fucking destroying this world.
Yeah, you're right.
You're destructive. And I don't
Right.
want to be destructive, bro. I want to like, you know what I'm saying? I want to
Yeah.
like, I don't know. I just want to be somebody special.
Yeah.
That's it.
I be seeing you work out, you be going hard. Like me, I go to the gym, bro, because I be like, to be honest, just to get the stress off. It
Yeah.
like takes away some stress.
It feels good.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's
Like, you know, I be
improving,
we be dealing with the world, anxiety,
Yeah.
shit like that. So it's kind of like it lets it go. Like you feel better
Yeah.
after type
I
shit.
never heard nobody say like after a workout, like I'm still having a bad day.
Exactly.
Like you always feel good.
Yeah,
even
that's
if even if
crazy,
your
right?
world's fucked up, you still like, damn, I feel good. At least I got a
Yeah.
solid workout in, you know?
Yeah, like even when I was locked up, it was just like we doing burpees,
Yeah.
pull-ups, push-ups. I felt good afterwards.
Yeah, I
I was
feel
like, hell
good.
yeah.
Yeah.
Shower, we like feeling good and then ready for the next day to
I
work
feel like
out.
$1,000,000, bro.
Yeah.
Yeah, I could have nothing in my pocket. I feel like I
Yeah.
feel amazing.
Nah, for sure.
But I feel like we could get it.
But look, you know the richest guys that was in jail was the tattoo guys. They made all the money.
Yeah, that is true. Those were the only hustles, was selling dope
Yeah.
and tattoos.
Yeah.
So,
They
but you
stayed
have,
booked. Like
yeah, but you have to be good. Because
yeah.
then, because there's so much of it going on.
Yeah.
So like, my skills didn't start getting better till like maybe like a quarter of the way. I mean, like towards the end of my sentence, like towards probably like the last 4 years. So the
Right.
first beginning, I was
Yeah.
hurting.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That's how I developed it.
So like, okay, in jail, you didn't have the right. What did you use exactly?
I used like for what, tattooing?
Yeah.
Oh, we used like, the Walkmans, the motor,
Yeah.
and then the pin to hold the needle, and then the needle from the spring. We just light it on fire and burn it,
Damn.
and then we sharpen it on the floor, and
Right.
then we just burn hair grease to get the soot.
So let me ask you, like, have anybody ever got affected from it, like from in jail like that?
Yeah. I mean, I never have.
Oh,
Yeah, I never
damn.
have. But
Because
people
I used to
have.
hear stories, and they be like, "Bro, you can get a tattoo." And I used to be like, "I'm scared to do the tattoo in jail." Like,
Sometimes like some of them fools are dirty. You know what I mean? But for the
Yeah.
most part, I mean, you take as much precaution as you can. But
yeah,
I mean, like it turned out well for me. But
Yeah,
that's
for
not
sure.
every case.
yeah, no,
I'm an isolated case.
You're right,
You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel like 85% of tattoos in jail turn out pretty cool.
Yeah, it turned out. I mean,
Yeah.
under the harsh conditions, it's fucked up. But
It's just summertime, like if the person is rushing, like to actually get the tattoo and then trying not to get caught by the
Yeah.
police, that's when it's like it ain't healed properly or some shit. You know what I mean?
Oh shit! I did. Now that I think about it, I did. At one time, one of mine did get infected.
Yeah,
Almost got gangrene. But I was young. We were little kids.
yeah.
This is where we fucked up at, bro. We were using the needles from the wall, and that's copper. You're not supposed to be putting copper in your
Oh,
skin.
for real?
But then the ink we were using was typewriter ink we stole from the office. So
Oh,
we stole
shit.
ink and then we smashed up pencil. We're minors. We weren't
Yeah.
adults yet, so we didn't know. So
Right,
we put
right.
pencil lead, typewriter ink.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I remember my homeboy Taddy had an east side right here, and it just got infected. The next day I was like, and I went to get patted down because we are coming out. So I got patted down, and the cop, I put my shirt, like I put it over, like instead of stretching your arm, I kind of
Yeah.
went like this. So it can kind of cover it. And he goes, stretch your arm out. And I went like that, and he saw it. And then I was like, he goes, damn, like, bro, that shit was infected, bro. I almost got gangrene off of that shit.
Damn.
Yeah, that shit was
Oh
pretty
yeah, you been through. You learned a lot then. Shit. Yeah. So you start after 4 years. You start learning how to tattoo real good. Then you just start like right now. You do tattoo most of the time.
Say that. Wait,
You
what's that?
basically like for your job, like
Oh yeah. That's my main line of work. Was I started I don't see myself as a tattoo artist though.
Oh, okay.
Like I tattoo because I learned in prison. Like people would give me their pictures,
Yeah.
so I got real good at faces. I've
Oh,
always
okay.
been known for faces, so I
Right.
can eyeball a face and tattoo it.
Damn.
But that's just like my line of work. That's my
Right.
hustle. That's my main hustle. But I never was like, oh, I'm a tattoo artist. I
Right.
always saw myself as just me. That's just kind of my job. You know what I'm
Right,
saying?
right.
And then right now, like, yeah, I tattoo, but I'm not fully, I don't think that's my calling.
Yeah, no,
I'm not
for
fully
sure.
passionate. It's just
Yeah.
part of my story. Like
Exactly.
God gave me something to take care of myself. It just so happened to be tattoos.
Smart.
It was either drug dealing or tattoos. And, you
Yeah.
know, I don't know. I don't want to.
yeah, for sure.
I'm trying to progress in
Yeah,
life. You know what I mean?
same, bro, same. No, that's smart though. Like as far as tattoo, like me personally, like if I was like you, if I'm good at tattoos, like I would do it. But then if I know that's my journey too, I just have like a tattoo shop and a whole lot of people working for me.
Yeah, no,
Because you know it inside out really good.
It's incorporated like
Yeah.
in my life. Like I can't shake it. Like
Yeah.
I can't have one without the other. And like before I got into my calling, like it was a way for me to look the way I look.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because of what I did.
Yeah.
So normally I couldn't look like this and just work a normal job. You know what I mean? So I
Right.
was able to look this way and kind of work for myself. But there's not really a lot of money in owning a shop.
Oh,
Yeah,
it's not?
I've owned two. Yeah, there's not really a lot of money. It's kind of like a barber. It's like they
Oh,
just pay.
right.
You know what I mean? It's like a cat.
Oh
You
yeah,
know what I'm
yeah,
saying? They
you
pay
right.
for their booth.
Or they probably wouldn't tell you everything that they do.
You
Yeah,
know
you're
what I
right.
mean?
Damn.
So it's kind of like there's not a lot of money. And that in the age I'm at right now, I'm 38. So I'm looking for ways to be, to kind of surpass that. Like, I mean, tattoos is cool. It's, owning shop is
I feel
cool.
like by
But
building like me, I like putting a lot of money into yourself and then actually like you being a brand. You
yes,
make the most money.
the
Like
brand, yeah.
like I was like right now I do mentorships. They be like 75 to 150,000. If
Damn.
they don't got the money, I get them a loan for it. So they can get
Damn.
loans for my mentorship. So let's say if you see people working out with me, they probably pay me 25,000 to work out with me or higher. You know what I mean? Or if they're not working out with me, they want to go overseas with me, that's 50,000.
Damn.
You know what I mean? So it's little things that you can do, but it took a lot of like I took
get that
all the
loan.
money. I took all the money and dumped it into myself.
Oh, you good?
Let's say if it was a business, it's either KEVO or business. I chose myself. I bet it on myself.
Yeah.
Because I know if I'm a walking billboard, then it's like nobody gonna turn me down. They always want to be somewhere similar. So if I got right now, I got all these subscribers paying $50 a month. So let's say if you had a subscription base, my subscribers start looking at your subscription like, what he got going on in his? So that's how you can accumulate a lot of money depending on what you sold or what you learned. Or like right now, somebody might want to learn, how did you make this book?
Yeah, that
You know what I
actually
mean?
came up in the topic. Yeah.
That
So
way,
that's
like
another-
I would want to know how you made this book. And then if you're like, all right, well, I charge 2,500.
Yeah.
I will walk you step by step on how I made my book so you can make your book.
Right.
And you charge for that.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? So that's similar to what I do. That's what I was learning because I'm in jail watching people make so much money every day. You know, in prison, they probably charging $5 a course and $10 a course, but they're a lot of information because they really trying to teach you because they really want you to come back and buy their next course.
Yeah.
Out here, course is 5,000, 10,000.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? If a person got to hold your hand step by step, then they charging you more. So I took that game and brought it to the world and started making a lot of money. You know what I mean?
I didn't get hip to the courses until later on in life. Like I see that that's another hustle.
Because like this right here, you can literally take a person. If you want to learn how I made my book, I generated $200,000, $300,000, $400,000 already. I could teach you. Boom. Then, long as it's a cool ad, you know what I mean. And if you let them know if I can do it, you can do it.
Right.
Then they like, damn, shit. If he can do it, I can do it. Now they want to tap in with you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they feel like they can relate with you more. That's $1 million.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And if the high ticket people who can afford it, I mean, they can afford $5,000, $10,000. You make a payment plan link because they have ways of. I can't pay now, so I'll just pay $20 a month, and then you still got the bread in your account type shit. So I just started mastering that type of stuff, bro.
Yeah, you got that down, bro. Yeah,
and that was a blessing being able to know that because I never knew that I can. I was like, damn, I know everything about.
How'd you tap into that though? Like that was just like an idea.
I started scamming in like 2008, right? So I was working a job, but I met a guy who was going crazy with scamming. And he, scamming is like not saying similar to like legal stuff, but it's kind of like, you know what I mean? It's like a business, right? I was just like, okay, if I could do bad, I can
like
do
the
good.
structure's the same.
Exactly. If I could do bad, I can do good. So I was just like, man, like I can be good on the computers and do everything legit. Just start studying more, and then I just started getting into courses and started watching hella YouTube videos and start buying other people's guides.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was like, I could do better than this.
Dang, your brain works good, bro.
Yeah,
That's
like
good. Yeah, you
that's the only.
been.
I was just like you, bro. Like when it comes to money, I gotta get this money.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
I was like,
It
but
just comes.
I'm knowing if I get it in the wrong place, then wrong things happen.
Mhm.
If you get what I'm saying,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
because in Chicago, it's like
Like you reap
okay,
what you sow type shit. Yeah.
type yeah. So if I'm sitting out there, it's like everybody is like, if I start making this money, a lot of people around you damn near jealous about it, and you got to watch
Mhm.
your back more. You know what I mean? You see how
Yeah.
in Miami we can chill, but
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Chicago we wouldn't even be able to sit right here, type
Yeah,
shit. You
yeah.
know, because it'd be too dangerous.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And,
Fools are hungry.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's kind of like you gotta look. I look at it kind of like that. So I'm just happy I'm able to be in this situation after what I've been through,
Yeah.
because I got out in 2020. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So I've been out 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 years. You know?
That's a hell of a testimony, bro. That
Yeah.
shit inspires me, bro, for
Yeah, so
real.
if I can do it in 4.5 years, I
Yeah.
feel like anybody can get rich, like
Yeah.
super rich. All it takes is a lot of researching, connecting with the right people, and somebody that's really willing to give you the right information. Because everybody's not willing to. They'll have you around and they'll be flexing on you and stuff like that. But are they willing to tell you the blueprint? I don't
Mhm.
care to tell people the blueprint, because you. What if you become a billionaire? I'm pretty sure you'll remember and possibly think about me.
Mhm.
That's all I care about. Like,
Right.
man, bro, this dude, I talked to him. He changed my whole life type vibe. That's all
Mhm.
I care about. So if people hit me up like, bro, I watched your credit course. I got this, I got that. Man, you changed my life. I'll be happy when I see the DMs. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
yeah, yeah.
That'd be my goal, really, to be honest.
Yeah. Pass
Then,
it
like I
along,
said,
yeah.
like working out, bro, like I met a lot of people in the gym, just
Right.
like we met each other. And I'm pretty sure you met more people. Like networking is everything though, bro. Like when we are in the small towns or even some like real dangerous cities, in the gym, like you gonna see a lot of older people, but
Mhm.
here it's a vibe. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying?
I
Everybody in the
love it.
gym got money.
The energy's fly. I
Man,
love
it's
it. Yeah,
lit. When
yeah.
you walk out the gym, all cars, guys with these watches, it's super motivating. Then
Right.
like I can do this.
Mhm.
Like I know I can do it.
Yeah, I definitely feel like I'm in the right spot.
Hell
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
bro. Even like when I seen you working out, I'm like, bro, that's a course.
Mhm.
That's a course, or you can be like a celebrity trainer or anything, bro. It's
Mhm.
like a lot of opportunity out here. All right, so I know you lived a crazy life and stuff like that. What made you write the book though? Like the art of chains, right? So what made you like really get into the book?
So like to sum it all up, right?
Yeah,
This is a lot of this right here, like it's small. This is like a small project, right? It's like a baby. I birthed something.
yeah,
But before this, it was like, bro, it was a lot. It was a lot that birthed this. So it's like all my suffering, my pain, my frustration, like everything I kind of went through, like you have a lot of stuff that's in you that you want to get out. You
yeah,
know what I mean? Like say if you're broke, you're so frustrated you want to get rich.
yeah,
Or if you're lacking in certain things, it's like how do I channel this energy, right?
right,
And I had so much to get off my chest. Like I
yeah,
got so much like hate, frustration, like, and I'm not a rapper, so I can't sing or make
yeah,
music about it because I'm
right,
like, that's why I love music too, because man, I be
yeah,
feeling that shit because
for sure,
from that shit comes
for
from the
sure,
soul.
yeah,
They come from a dark place, and I
yeah,
like Tupac, DMA. I love that, like
yeah,
Nipsey.
yeah,
So I listen to that shit, and I'm just like, bro, that shit hits.
yeah,
But I'm not a rapper. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, how do I tell my story? Like, how do I say what really needs to be said? Because we're not in alignment with certain things in the world. We're not in agreement, but nobody will never know. You know what I mean? Like, like what you stand for, like you made it your core like belief system and you stood on it, and that's why you are and have what you have today, because you
exactly.
believe what you believe is against what you're against. You know what
Yeah,
I'm
right,
saying?
right,
So you're against poverty, so you became successful. You know what
for
I mean?
sure.
So there's a lot of things in this world that I'm against, bro. I'm against how we grew up. Like
Yeah,
I'm against it. I'm against like being misled. I'm against, you know what I mean? But the suffering goes hand in hand with success. Like you can't say, "Oh, I want success, but I don't want to suffer."
right.
Like
You're
it
right.
goes with it.
Yeah,
And there's a saying that somebody told me one time that it really stuck with me. It says, "As on the spectrum, like you measure it, as much as you suffered, as much is going to be your victory." You see what I'm saying? So if you
yeah,
suffer much, you're gonna have much victories. If you suffer little, you have a little victory. So I kind of that stuck with me. So it's like it made me see my whole suffering as like, damn, this shit like it'll pay off one day. And I guess I turned my life around because like I was so frustrated. Like I can't connect in life. And that feeling, bro, is like, that's
yeah,
heavy, bro. Like
yeah,
to feel like you just not meant for the world. You know what I'm saying? You the oddball. Like
yeah,
I'm not rich. I didn't grow up smart. I'm not uneducated. Like everything. that kept us down. Like we were the embodiment of like lack, of having nothing. Like that's us. And how you're so frustrated. Like, what do you do? And bro, it's the feeling is so heavy. Like like I can almost say it's like on the same level as wanting to kill somebody.
Yeah.
Like it's so heavy that like, man, I just want to go crazy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And so I just got on this mission that I was just like, my suffering has to come from something. Because when I speak on my suffering, it's not something that I say lightly where I'm like, oh no, I went through this, but I'm passionate about it. Because like
Right.
people try to discredit our suffering, like, oh, well, you guys chose that. No, we didn't, bro. We didn't choose that shit. We didn't grow up to grow fuck up households.
Yeah.
My homies we didn't grow up to be in foster homes and
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? And the girls we knew growing up, they didn't want to be prostitutes. You know what I'm saying?
Right,
They didn't
right.
want to be drug addicts and they didn't want that shit, bro. They got touched, molested, raped, like, you know what I'm saying? We got beat down, like everything bad in the world, like got
Yeah,
passed on our plate. And then
Yeah.
you pass it to us, and I'm like, what do I do with this shit?
No,
right?
for sure.
So coming through that, I ended up like having a mind that was still stable, despite all that shit. Like I could have been anything in the world.
Yeah.
I could have been a serial killer. You know, I could have rose the ranks of like the criminal organization. I could do whatever I wanted. I had no backing. I had no fat. Nobody tell me anything.
Right.
I could do whatever I wanted to do. I could have murdered. I could have killed. I could have gangbanged. I could have did anything I want.
Right.
And I guess the only thing that kept me straight, like, was like something small. Was just a word that God said you're gonna be great one day. That's it.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that kept me in line. Cause I'm like, I just don't see it. Like, I don't see it. Where's this great? What are you talking about? I don't see it. So I'm getting frustrated. And it's like a small voice. It's a still voice. It's like, you're gonna be great. I'm saying, well, I mean, I know you ain't a liar. So what are you talking about? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And then I got on this mission where I'm like, okay, I have this. I have this life. I have this education. I have these experiences. I have this pain. I have all this right here. What do I do with it? Like it has to account for something. Like it has to. So I'd say, okay, let me become great so you can learn from me.
Exactly.
Or let me become great so I could tell that story.
Right.
So I could be like, damn, you know what I'm saying? I really made it. And when I say like we made it, like, bro, we fucking made it. Like for real. Like this ain't like, bro, no handout, nobody helped us, nobody opened the door for like, bro, when I say like we came from nothing, like we came from nothing.
Nothing.
Like, and a lot of my homies that still reach out to me, a lot of people, like I still got my homeboys, they're still locked up right now doing life sentences, reaching out. And bro, like the look on their faces, the words they say, like, bro, they're fucking like, they're like living through me.
Yeah, they
like,
proud. Yeah, for sure.
They'll never get out of there.
For sure.
So they're looking at me like, bro, like, tell our story, like, bro.
Yeah.
And I know they're hurting, bro. I know they're hurting because a lot of them I grew up with. So we known each other since we were like little kids, 12, 13 years old, 14. And they're right now we're 38. They're still doing life sentences. So to me, this is like, it's passion.
Yeah.
So they see me, it's like, bro, like we all grew up together. You know what I mean? So it hits like different because he's like, damn, it's one of us. It's one of us. It's one of us. So getting up in the places that we're not supposed to be, like to me, I'm like, bro, I love that feeling, bro. Like I love going to nice restaurants. I love pulling up. I love mingling with like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you know, the white folks or, you know, not
sure,
you know, the
sure.
regular. You know what I mean? But I love it's a good feeling. Cause like say with us, we tatted, look, you got your jewelry, you come from a place, you from Chicago. Like it feels good to step out, be in places that you're not supposed to be.
Right.
But it also it's like there's a purpose behind it.
Yeah.
So when I got on this mission, it was like self-development.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm going to use this shit. Like, there's no excuse no more. Like, I have to change. I have to create something, right? Yeah. And the only way I could, like, tell my story is just tell it from the beginning.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, where it all started. Just tell it. Because I tell my stories, bro, and it's just like, sometimes people are like, they don't believe it.
Right.
And I'm like, bro, I was a little kid, bro. Like, like, bro, like, that's me. Like, I was 13 when I went, bro. I remember when the cop arrested me. Yeah. Like, my clothes were big. The cuffs were big. Like he came to my house and arrested me for a drive-by shooting. I shot at some Eastside Crips. Yeah. And he said, he called his lieutenant and was like, man, that's a little kid. Like, what do I do? And he told me he called a charge. You have to arrest him. And when he asked me if I did it, the shooting, I was proud, bro. I was proud on the cool. Like I was so young that he asked me if I did it. And I was like, yeah, I did it. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
Yeah,
proud, like,
yeah.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
And then I went in and bro, I was like my clothes, they took me to juvenile, but juvenile wouldn't take me. Cause they were like, nah, that's an adult charge. Like, you know, you going with the big boys. So they took me to the adult. So I got charged as an adult.
yeah.
And they put us in a section with all like, bro, I was in there with like little 15, 16-year-old killers, bro. And my
Damn.
clothes were big. I was just a little boy, bro. I was a little boy. And I remember I was talking to, cause underage, they usually give us like counselors or somebody to talk to, right? And I was crushing on one of the counselors. Like she would come in, just big old like Amazon chick. And I thought she, you know, cause she was so nice to me that I was like, she would
Yeah.
pull me out my cell and talk to me like, how you doing, Mr. Estillore? I'm like, you know, I liked her cause she made me feel good, you know?
Yeah.
But it's just like all that shit added up and just like, so I speak for them.
Yeah.
I speak for all the fuck ups.
Yeah.
Like I speak for the ones that is just like, damn, fool, I never thought we could. I never, you know what I'm saying? And even to this day, bro, like, you know, like my life isn't the greatest, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like I got brothers, bro, back home. I got sisters. Like I have 2 brothers that are disabled, you know what I mean? Got
Yeah.
cerebral palsy. Like it's just fucked up shit. We still go through some, you know what I mean? So it's
Yeah.
like I'm still like for me, it's like I'm very passionate about this shit.
Right.
And I think like the only way it connects is if like you just keep it real as you can. And just tell it just like it needs to be told. And now I have something that, you know what I'm saying, kind of like embodies a little bit of it. This is like the beginning stages. This isn't full development yet. You know, I just barely dropped this. So this is just like something that I see unfolding and it makes me happy. It makes me happy to talk about it.
Right.
And it makes me happy that we kind of got a voice now. And then you giving me a platform to speak. And it's like, I got a voice. So I'm day, like, you know, I'm gonna tell it, you know what I'm saying? Cause I'm passionate, bro. Like I'm passionate because it's like a lot of us like, bro, we just felt we couldn't be nothing. We felt we didn't have a way. Like, bro, there's nothing, no opportunities. Like, but I had to feel it. I had to know what it felt like.
Right.
Cause like I remember there was one time I was asking God one time, like why I gotta be like this? Why I gotta grow up in all these situations, you know? And I heard something spoken to me and it said if you never went through the dark, how would you be able to pull anybody else out the dark? So in a way, you have to experience the dark. You have to, because that's the only way I can go back and pull you out the dark.
No, for sure.
Be like, bro, you in the wrong place. Like, come up out of there. Like, there's nothing in there, bro. Get up out of there. Like, come on this side. You know what I'm saying?
Bro.
Come on this side with the D boys.
For sure. You ain't lying though, because I mean, I've been through some shit and I be telling people like, man, I've been through that lane already. I'm telling you.
Don't do it.
It ain't gonna work.
Don't do it.
You're right about that though.
But some of them don't want to come out. So
nah, you right.
It's all good. We leave them in there. It's not their time yet.
You're right. Where can they find the book at? Like what sites you got it on right now?
So right now it's on Amazon. It's getting in Barnes and Noble. But as of right now, I have the link on my Instagram. So they
What's
like
your
all
Instagram?
my it's Shane Portrait Tattoos.
Okay.
So my links on the Instagram and then TikTok, and I got all my social media platforms are all linked to it. So you hit the link, it'll take you straight to Shopify, and then Shopify you put the order in, and I'll ship it to you.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Man, make sure y'all tap in with my boy, man. All his descriptions, links, everything gonna be in this video. So make sure y'all go buy that book, man. And if you want to get some game on how he created the book, man, tap in. Hit him on Instagram, DM him. Hey, he might have a mentor. What would you charge for mentorship?
Mentorship? I don't know. I have to talk to you about that. Have to set it up, bro.
Man, he wants 10,000, man. Like, look. But yeah, though, Famous and Wealthy Podcast. Tap in.